My name is Trevor Steinmeier, and I speak to you tonight as a concerned parent and concerned friend of many of the teachers and staff in Fairbury Public Schools. I was asked to join a small group of parents. When we first met, we found out that we worried about many of the same things. When we started researching to see if our concerns were warranted, I personally met with Superintendent Grizzle, Principals Anderson and Malloy, to get their opinions so I could see the big picture. Our small group held 2 meetings with other concerned parents, ex-teachers, community members, and even 5 seniors from last year that left college on a Monday night to come back. We spent many hours listening to concerns, and if I had to sum up our concerns into 2 words, it would be bad culture. The words, "It's a great day to be a Jeff," can be seen on the school's website. It gets tweeted out. It's on the signatures of emails. From what I've gathered, for some teachers and students, that's not always the case. Our teacher turnover rate is among the highest in the district. With that said, we are under the state average by 2%, but that includes A and B schools, so obviously those numbers can be spun. The numbers I cannot spin is over the last 9 years, we've had an average of 9 teachers that leave each year. This year, we have several more leaving, and some you don't even know about yet. Even more concerning, there are a couple that have told me that they're seriously considered not moving from Fairbury, but yet leaving to teach outside the district. That's a culture problem. I've talked to several teachers that have thanked us for addressing these issues here tonight. When I asked Mr. Grizzle why he thought so many teachers were leaving, he said a lot of the new hires are single first-year teachers and leave for better opportunities or to get close to their significant others, which makes sense. But I would hope that if you lose 9 teachers and hire 9 more the next year, you would retain some of those and not lose 9 again. However, there are other reasons. Many employees have expressed a lack of discipline and support. That's 2 big reasons. Some have asked for assistance only to be shut down from their superiors. Some are afraid to ask. That's bad culture, and word is getting around. I was chatting recently with a former teacher. They text, and I quote, "I would never tell a young coach to work at Fairbury now, where before I would have said I had a great experience there." It's disappointing, and I'm a guy that's not even from here. I came for a job. I got several offers to leave, but stayed because not leaving Fairbury outweighed the other. Perhaps hiring older teachers with families or teachers that are established already in the area but teach elsewhere would be a good fix. And when we do hire young teachers, help to get them involved and connect with good people of this town. Help them make connections so Fairbury Public Schools is a place to stay and not a stepping stone. While on the topic of people leaving the school, each school day, 74 kids leave Fairbury and option out to other schools in our district. That's up from 30 10 years ago. That number to me is mind-blowing. That's over a whole class of kids. I think if we put 74 kids back in our school system, it would go a long way to get more participation in things. In talking with the administration, they assured me that they did try to keep the kids here, but they ultimately left. If that's me, I'm taking all of those reasons that they left and trying to fix those in hopes that they'll come back, which I understand is easier said than done. Lastly, the violence and the utter lack of disrespect in the high school right now is appalling. I've seen videos of fights. I've heard cursing at teachers as a common occurrence. In fact, a couple of years ago, I witnessed it personally in the office. I was glad to learn that a couple of weeks ago, talks started back up for a school resource officer. In talking with the administration, I asked about MTSS framework that we use for both educational and behavioral support. Said the biggest issue is not getting buy-in from all the teachers, and that it takes 5 years to take effect. I would hope that there's faster ways of implementing, and I hope that priority number 1 is to address it and get everybody on board. In closing, from the get-go, I wanted to come to you professionally in hopes that you would take our group seriously. I'm not here asking you to fire anybody. I'm not here to tell you that it's all your fault. I'm smart enough to know that the bad culture didn't happen overnight, and other factors and issues outside the school's doors play into some of those problems. However, I'm hoping that you listen. I'm hoping that you take all these concerns tonight and get better. Get better about trying to hire and retain teachers that want to be in Fairbury. Get better about communicating with your teachers in an effort to get in, buy-in, and give them assurance that they can ask for help. Get better about providing a safe environment and services so students want to attend Fairbury Public Schools and not go to other districts. Get better at owning up to problems and working towards solving them. And finally, get better about making it a great day to be a Jeff again. Thank you for your time, and if there's anything that I or anybody in this community can do to help, please let us know.
My name is Andrea Schmidt, and I'm here as an individual parent to express my concerns. I've been a Fairbury Jeff my whole life. I'm sad for the environment my daughters are subjected to daily, and even more fearful to send my 3-year-old through this district. Our school district has never been this way. The tolerated violence and lack of discipline is unacceptable. We're naive to think gun violence can't happen here. I began sharing my concerns a few months ago by contacting administration, and then I spoke to a school board member who suggested I gather parents and come speak at a board meeting. I began contacting parents and realized that many before me had emailed concerns and responses were minimal. According to our Board of Education goals, one of them states to engage students, families, staff, the community, elected officials, and other stakeholders in supporting our school and improving educational outcomes for all Fairbury students. How are we achieving this goal if the responses are minimal when a parent or staff member reaches out? In 2017 and 18, the Fairbury Education Association conducted an anonymous survey. Some would like to say those results are mostly positive, but the findings of that survey do not support that. This survey had a 98% return rate among all staff surveyed, and only 2 admin received above 50% rating, which after this year, both will have resigned. Some results for the admin who still remain in our district include overwhelmingly treats staff in a demeaning manner. Another admin is unorganized and inconsistent in treatment of staff and students. And the overall culture of Fairbury Public Schools and trust in and within administration needs to be improved. If engaging staff helps improve educational outcomes and they share their concerns, why is this survey being downplayed? 3 years have passed and the culture continues to decline. Another Board of Education goal is to ensure safe, inclusive, and positive learning environments that encourage respect, foster collaboration, and support equity. How does allowing a student to yell "F you" at their teacher in class foster a safe and positive learning environment? Most troubling is that many of our students have accepted this culture as normal. Seeing frequent fights and blatant disrespect towards staff and teachers is far from positive or normal. Equally concerning is our district's proficiency rates. According to the 2018 and 19 NDE snapshot, our proficiency rates for English and language arts are 32%, which is 20% below the state average of 52%. Science is 58%, which is 8% below the state average of 66%. And math is 49%, which is 3% below the state average of 52%. How are our teachers being supported to help improve these rates? I see from research that we have a curriculum director with a cost to our district of nearly $100,000. How is that expenditure helping our proficiency rates? We are also blessed with many wonderful teachers in our district. However, staff turnover is a major concern, and many great teachers have chosen to leave. Teachers' base salary is nearly the lowest in our 14-district array of number 12. This would not strike me as odd if our administration pay was proportionate within our array. Mr. Anderson, Mrs. Smith, and Mr. Davis are paid in the middle of our array. Mr. Malloy is paid towards the bottom, and Mr. Grizzle is paid the highest out of 14 districts with a cost to our district of $215,000 annually. Over a 5-year period, superintendent cost to district has increased 17.4% compared to the teachers' increase of 8.7%. Administrative costs to our district are nearly $986,000 for 7 administrative positions. When comparing Nebraska Department of Education school snapshots of all 14 schools, Fairbury is rated in the bottom 3. As a taxpayer, our administrative costs are a concern, especially when directly compared to our performance as a district. Another concern of mine is in 2019, our district looked into a school resource officer. When I see that our administrative salaries are nearly $1 million a year, I question why this minimal expense was declined. Our staff's show violence was just as big of an issue in 2019. Records requested from the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department show since August of 2017, they have responded to 126 phone calls from our school regarding violence, truancy, or drug-related issues. According to Sheriff Schultz, our district could certainly utilize 2 school resource officers. The cost for our school would be $12,000 a year per officer, and after all the violence we've seen, we have an obligation to make this happen. The saddest part of all of this to me is when we gathered as a group of parents to discuss concerns, immediately staff was silenced and instructed not to speak to us. What is there to hide? This is not one side versus the other. This is about all of our children and the education environment we have for all of our students and staff. We should all be concerned. Our district culture cannot stay this way. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my concerns.
Hey everybody, my name is Spencer Brown. I come to you as a father of 6, as well as the mayor of Fairbury. So There are a lot of really great concerns that I've got to acknowledge and talk with people over the last few weeks here. I think it's a testament to the involvement of our community, everybody that's here tonight. Some of the stories that I've heard they're real concerning to me, and concerning to my heart, because these are people that I live next door to. They're people that are just good, solid people in our community, and we need that. We need that as a community. We need that as a public school and the cornerstone of what we are and what our kids look forward to every day. So I'm just coming to you as a concerned citizen, as a mayor. If there's anything that the city can do to help.
At grade level math and spelling because of the lack of education she received while at Fairbury. I would not recommend Fairbury Public Schools to a family with a child with special needs or...
Within a few days, I was given a notice that the school had filed a hearing against us because they did not want to pay for an IE. During mediation, I spoke with the lawyer from Fairbury Public Schools and said we had absolutely no problems with paying for an IE, but wanted them to just agree to accept the outcome of the IE. They refused. We had already decided to pay for the IE and proceeded to have one done at Communication Works in Lincoln that specializes in children with apraxia, and we also chose to have one done by Dr. Shem, a licensed psychologist. We found Fairbury Public Schools' evaluation was lacking. I will not go into detail, but let me know if you want to see his evaluations. Let's just say